Welcome to By the Numbers. My name is Renee Smith, and this is my co-host, Michelle Fleming. Today we're going to be talking about fractions, and we've already done that in one episode, but we're going to talk about parts of a whole today.
Which is very similar to parts of a set, but it's got a little bit, because we're working with one whole item versus several items, you kind of have to think a little differently about how you look at fractions with parts of a whole. I'm going to flip this over so
We can remember what we're talking about?
so we can write on it.
Okay. And I always like to introduce math lessons with children's books because even in my upper grade classrooms, kids like children's books and they like to be read to, which when I first started teaching older kids, I didn't think that that was going to work very well at all, but it really did.
And this book, Give Me Half, which is a math start book by Stuart Murphy, he has great math books, and this is just something quick and easy to read, and it'll get us going on talking about parts of a whole.
Okay, so I have one whole pizza and it's all for me. I'm going to get some pizza. Oh, no, for me. No, for me. I'm going to get some pizza. Just you wait and see. I know you want some pizza, sis, or Michelle. You only get one slice.
You better give me more than that. Why can't you be nice?
All right. You have to share the pizza. It must be split in two. The pieces should be cut the same for each of you. And we're going to stop there.
We're going to stop there. Don't have a pizza with us today, but we're going to use a tortilla shell.
That'll work.
Because it's the same shape as a pizza. That'll work. So anyhow, I get to divide the pizza in half.
Okay.
Because we each need a piece if I'm going to divide in half. So
Okay.
here we go.
Now, my mom said if you're the cutter, I get to be the picker. So if that's the case, this is my half.
That's not what I was thinking.
Do you think that's fair, Michelle?
Well, if this is my half, it would be fair.
Well, but it isn't because I get to choose. So,
Okay, I want to redo.
okay,
this option.
and what we need to understand about fractions is just like it said in the book, the pieces should be cut the same for each of you.
Okay.
So equal size.
Equal size pizza.
Oh, so you're going to
Okay.
make a little
So I'm going to
kind of
fold it in half and then use these nice pinking shears.
I think they're actually kitchen shears. They were designed to cut tortilla shells in half.
Well, that's good. Since I don't cook a whole lot, you know.
I
this
know.
is new
I'll
for
help
me.
you out there
This
too.
is new for me.
There you go.
Okay, now I have my two pieces.
And now if I get to choose, it's not going to matter which one I choose, correct? Because we should have, as close as we can, the same size tortilla shell.
You know what I'm
for half.
thinking?
What?
With some cheese and
A little
some
bit. It would
little
almost be a
hamburger.
pizza.
We could roll it up though and make a little tiny mini burritos for snack.
Okay, but let's talk about what happens if we want to share this tortilla shell that we had to begin with two of our good friends.
Well, we could either each divide each of ours in half.
That's correct. And cut them again.
And cut them again, so they're getting smaller.
They are getting smaller. This is an interesting thing about fractions, and I think one of the things that's really confusing for children is the fact that we have the fraction 1/4 now. Well, as soon as Michelle's done, we'll have pieces that are cut in fourths.
And I'm going to write that up on the board.
Okay. And since, oops, I didn't quite put that right, did I? Okay, since it's cut in fourths, with the numeral 4 as part of the fraction, children get confused because the numeral 4 is bigger than the numeral 2 was
when we had a half.
When we had a half.
So I'm going to make the half real quick here so we have a visual. Wow.
Okay.
I think I'm going to cut the number in half, the tortilla in half. Okay.
And so when they had it written as, I mean, we're comparing halves to fourths now.
Mm-hmm.
And the numeral 4 is larger than the numeral 2. And so a lot of times little kids and sometimes even older children think that because the 4 is larger than the 2, that it's a bigger fraction.
Right.
But it's the size of the piece and the number of pieces in the whole.
So if we got even more, if we went to an 1/8, we'd get even smaller.
They would even be smaller pieces yet.
And I think the other misconception is kids seem to think that as long as you have two pieces, they don't remember that each of those pieces has to be equal.
That's correct.
And I think that's a real big piece of when we're working with fractions for kids to know that the sizes must be equal.
That's right.
So do we get to finish the book now?
Well, actually, I was thinking that maybe if parents could find this book at the public library, possibly, that would be a great thing for them to share with their kids.
It is. And in fact, you have another book over there too that we should mention called Fraction Fun by David Adler, which is also a great book. Again, it's got great visuals, great pictures, and you'll see the parts of a whole in this book as well. Well, thank you for joining us in another episode of By the Numbers.
You can find more information about By the Numbers on My Kids Turn.